how many planks will you press at once, because the snare drum is just one plank, and then some of these are 2 or 3, or the kick drum is 3 as well. So that would take sometimes a week. I'm gonna have to wait, for a while to get it out. But when it would come out, it would look like one of these 2 pictures, just not quite even, still, a little bits. That's the glue that's hardened, but not quite how we wanted it. So I had to, again, sand more of it, cut pieces off that weren't right, and just get it smoother. So after the press and hours of sanding it to make it smoother, I had to sand with my hand after a while to use a smaller grit every time to get it really smooth. It finally looked like something I could actually start to hit. Sometimes it would come out like that, like with random lines, and I had to shave those off without putting an indent in the drum, which is difficult for me. But after that, it started to look like something I could hit, which is really exciting to get some anger out on these. I drilled holes, I had to measure and drill holes to fit the hardware on so I could put the head on and tune the drum. And this all happened like in one finishing day, so it's like all this hard work in one day just to finish the whole thing, which is really cool. And that's kind of what the snare drum looked like, as you can see right off the finish. Yeah, I was really excited about that. And after that, like I said, Dan taught me more than just drum building. He would be so nice. He'd let me in his house, and we would set up my drums depending on how many I built at the time, and we do different tuning techniques on them and how to get different sounds from them, and we record them he's really good at recording. He has a bunch of different selections of microphones to use to make cool sounds out of. So he just teach me his whole process of recording and whatnot, and that was really helpful for me. Yeah, so then we built the snare first so he can kind of show me more what to do, and all the toms were built by me primarily. So that's what they look like before putting them together in the press. And the only difference between the snare and the toms is we put fiberglass in line just to keep it more in round over time, to keep it sturdier. So that was even harder than the fabric laying, because it's fiberglass you can take apart. So, trying to do the same thing, trying to spray glue it and fit it in there, but then we painted the glue mixture all over it so it pressed well. So that's kind of the cool thing. That's what they all kind of look like before the press and the molds. I like taking cool pictures like that to show my process along the way. And sometimes I take it home, and these are cool so you can see the patterns. Before it was finished, in the end it was the finish. Just the grain and how it moved. And it was the natural from what we got from the tree. We matched the planks in order so that they would look, so that was like it looked in the actual tree. So that's the most natural we could have gotten, which is really cool. Yeah, and so that's kind of the comparison from the higher gloss. We put an oil-based finish on the outside so it'd shine a little bit more, and we waxed and buffed the outside. So that's kind of just different comparison you can see, which is really cool. Then we put the hardware on it, and I got to take them home and just play with them, which is really cool. Yeah, all right. Played them at church, and I brought them to a few different events and got to play them, and everyone really liked the look and the sound of them, which is an exciting moment for me. The next part of my year, I got to go to a drum camp in Chicago for a week, and I learned from these 4 professional drummers. I don't know if anyone knows Dave Weckel, Virgil Donati, Antonio Sanchez, or Mark Giuliano. But I learned a lot from these guys because they've been doing music professionally for a while, and they really taught me on concepts of how they do music. So they were really cool guys to learn from, especially Mark and Antonio, which are these 2 guys here. They taught me a lot about kind of the overall concept of music, and just their outlook on music was a lot more refreshing than some of the others, because some of them were so technical, and I've never been the most technical kind of player or thinker. So to be able to kind of almost freely express and create through something that seems like there's only one right way. Drums are kind of perceived as you play a beat and stay in the whole song, and you're good. or you need all these cool, fast hands to be able to be good. But they really showed me that simple playing, supporting the music, and fitting the music was the most important part, and I've incorporated that into my playing today. So they helped me with like creative expression and improv, as like soloing type stuff, so like creating an idea. And it's not necessarily in time either, in musical time, which is really a difficult concept to grasp, but they're really good at that. I feel like my kind of overall idea of creativity and creative expression is kind of this abstract topic, but I got to implement it a lot more in my own learning. And I think we need to implement more of creative expression more into the lives of younger people, because sometimes growing up, just based on my own personality, I'd be afraid of failure or to do the wrong thing in front of people or something like that. But in this creative expression idea, there's no wrong way. You know, you can create freely. That's what artists are. You know, they create freely. They don't have boundaries necessarily. And that was just a huge realization for me. This is